Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our board meeting of October 23rd. Can't believe we're already in October. At this time, I'm going to call the meeting to order and have our tech play our land acknowledgement for us and our national anthem. For those of us who can stand for the national anthem, please do so following the land acknowledgement. Thank you.
The land upon which we work, live, and sustain ourselves is the ancestral and treaty lands of the Michizagig Anishinaabe, also known today as the Mississaugas of the Credit, the rightful caretakers and title holders of this land. We also recognize the rich pre-contact history and relationships which include the Anishinaabe and the Ongwe Hongwe.
Since European contact, this land continues to be home to Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples. As responsible community members, we value the diversity, dignity, and worth of all people.
Colonialism displaced and dispossessed Indigenous peoples of their ancestral land
and continues to deny their basic human rights, dignities, and freedoms.
We are committed to learning true history to reconcile, make reparations, and fulfill our treaty obligations to the original peoples and our collective responsibilities to the lands, water, animals, and each other for future generations.
Thank you. You have the trustees, you have the agenda before you. There's no addition to the agenda. With that said, I'm going to ask Trustee Promoli and Trustee Cameron to move the agenda for me as is. All those in favor? Carries. Thank you. And the declaration of conflict of interest. Looking around the table, I'm not seeing any. Okay, we're going to move down to right away down to 5.1, which is our staff recognition, and that's staff retirement. And I'll turn it over to Vice Chair Satpal Chahal at this time.
Thank you, Chair Green, and through you, I'm happy to recognize our retiring staff members. Every month, the Peel District School recognizes the staff members who are retiring or have recently retired. Today, we are happy to recognize our 20 staff members who are retiring from their service. Among them are 1 principal, 6 classroom teachers, 1 facilities manager, 2 office managers, 5 custodians, 1 office manager, 1 office assistant for accounting, 2 educational assistants, 1 locksmith for maintenance services. All names and the titles of the retirees are displayed on the screen here. We thank all the retirees for their service and dedication to the board, students, families, and the community. It is through the collective work and efforts of our staff that make a positive difference in the lives of our students, their families, and the communities. Your commitment to help each student achieve to their best of their ability is appreciated. We wish the very best for you and happy retirement. Congratulations and thank you very much.
Thank you. With that said, I'm going to ask Trustee Clark and Trustee Bailey to put them on the floor for me. All those in favor? Thank you. We're going to move right down to the chair's announcements. And tonight, I do not have any announcements. I'm just going to move right down to the director's report. Director Sru.
Good evening, and thank you. And through you, Chair Green, I present my report. It has been almost 2 months since we launched the Board of Trustees multi-year strategic plan. Since then, each department and school have been busy aligning their own plans and goals to the multi-year strategic plan. This evening, I'd like to share some of the important activities that are being worked on, all underpinning the goal of the multi-year strategic plan. In accordance with the Ontario Ministry of Education's guidelines and in alignment with the multi-year strategic plan, as well as various action plans, Peel District School Board's cell phone policy has been updated. You will hear more on this from the Safety and Wellbeing Department later this evening. But I did want to reaffirm all the work that goes into the policy development, focuses on preserving and protecting students' learning time in schools, while still allowing for opportunities for students to learn about tech literacy and to develop the skills and knowledge needed for academic success. The team will take you through the highlights of a school cell phone policy survey that was completed last month. While we are quite early in the school year, the survey did show some positive, immediate impacts in classrooms. We will continue to monitor and reevaluate our cell phone policy as needed, while learning and adapting based on the results from surveys and feedback from teachers, students, and families. Continuing with the work of the ministry directives and beyond, which includes engaging communities, an information night on the Regional Learning Choices programs was held for families of Black students in grades 7 and 8. We took the opportunity to also highlight the Exploring High Skills program, which is the grade 9 and 10 program that leads into the Specialist High Skills program. 215 families registered and more than 130 families attended the first virtual session. Those that were not able to attend the live session received recordings. In a post-event survey, many families found the session to be very informative, while others shared insights like, "I did not know there were so many options for my child entering high school, and that having transportation is going to make life so much easier." The next information session is already being planned for the families of Black students who are entering middle school so that they too can be informed about the elementary regional learning choices programs. In alignment with the Peel District School Board Black Student Success Strategy, the multi-year strategic plan, and the Literacy Achievement Action Plan, Peel District School Board's Equity, Indigenous Education, and Community Engagement Department and the Center for Black Student Excellence have partnered with the Toronto Raptors on an essay writing competition for grade 8 students. The essay focuses on Black excellence as demonstrated by the numerous contributions made by the Honorable Lincoln Alexander to the Canadian landscape. To support students and staff in learning more about the Honorable Lincoln Alexander, the Toronto Raptors held a virtual information session for more than 80 Peel educators and students with his granddaughter, Erica Alexander. We are pleased to share that more than 3,000 grade 8 students from the Peel Board will participate in this writing competition for a chance to win a home game experience at the Scotiabank Arena for the whole class. We thank the Toronto Raptors for their efforts to promote literacy while empowering and encouraging students to explore, appreciate, and celebrate the diversity, achievements, and rich history of Black Canadians. And we look forward upon this partnership to benefit students of all ages. Just as it is vital for educators to provide students with rich opportunities for growth and learning, it is equally important for educational leaders to focus on developing capacity. Developing capacity in oneself and others is essential for fostering a thriving workplace culture and it stands as a critical responsibility for senior leadership throughout the year. Leaders must prioritize continuous learning and development, recognizing that a knowledgeable and empowered team is key to improving student achievement and well-being. This commitment not only enhances performance, but also cultivates a sense of ownership and engagement among colleagues, ultimately enhancing the service to students and families in the board. Throughout the month of September, for example, a series of professional learning sessions were organized by the Special Education Department. In alignment with all 4 goals of the multi-year strategic plan, these sessions were aimed at empowering educational assistants, special education staff, educators, and administrators. More information will be provided in the staff report later this evening. I had the pleasure of greeting more than 2,500 educational assistants at the Professional Learning Day on September 3rd, where topics ranged from safety training and behavior and communication strategies to trauma-informed practices that support every student's potential. It was a great way to start the school year, coming together as a professional learning community. On the curriculum side, we are proud to share that Peel District School Board has been invited by the Ministry of Education to lead the first of a series of webinars for the province hosted by the Skills Development and Apprenticeship branch of the ministry. Peel District School Board has been asked to present their work on the Student Achievement Plan implementation processes using disproportionality analysis and engaging community. During this session, senior staff will share how we use disproportionality analysis to bring focus on our school improvement processes. These processes involve meaningful engagement with students, educators, administrators, families, and communities. Additionally, we will highlight our ongoing efforts to drive change at all levels of the organization with the goal of addressing inequities and patterns of underservice, ultimately reducing disproportionate outcomes. Remaining within this theme of staff and leadership learning, a recent visit by a delegation of 15 educators and leaders from Wales was a resounding success, thanks to the dedication and professionalism of Peel District School Board staff. The delegation explored PDSB's innovative practices in STEM education, Indigenous learning, change management strategies, and approaches to developing future-ready skills while addressing the foundational learning in literacy and mathematics and supports for neurodiverse learners. They engaged with various programs, including specialist high skills majors and innovation hubs, which align with the PDSB multi-year strategic plan focus on student achievement and well-being. The visit not only highlighted the strengths of our inclusive, future-focused learning environments, but also reinforced our commitment to equity and excellence. The positive feedback from the delegation has strengthened international partnerships and opened doors for future collaboration, leaving a lasting impression of the impactful work being done across Peel School Board communities. Senior team also engaged in land-based learning at the Jack Smythe Field Center, located just north of the village of Terracotta on the UN biosphere known as the Niagara Escarpment. This site opened in 1969 and has welcomed Peel District School Board students for over 50 years. The Outdoor and Environmental Education Coordinator led the group on a mindfulness walk with discussions focused on the impacts educators make on a daily basis. This walk was followed by energizing and thought-provoking team-building initiatives as we continued to build out departmental strategic plans. Incredibly, the trees we all stood beneath, which reached heights of up to 70 feet, were planted in 1972 by high school students from Streetsville Secondary School in 1972. The staff of the Outdoor and Environmental Education Department think of that act of service daily, and every student who comes to the center is given the opportunity to feel a powerful connection with the outdoors by having a bird feed from their hand. We are very fortunate as a board and as a community to have access to such beautiful and inspiring grounds where students and staff are able to engage in hands-on activities and learning. Tomorrow is a significant day for us as we launch the Future of Healthcare Speaker Series. The Future of Healthcare program is a joint initiative between Peel District School Board and Toronto Metropolitan University's School of Medicine and Faculty of Community Services. The goal is to expose diverse groups of middle school and secondary school students to educational and career possibilities in healthcare while creating a pipeline of diverse talent for a critical industry that is facing serious labor shortage. This pioneering program includes course offerings, an experiential component, and a speaker series, which will be the first initiative to launch within the program. We all know how important this program is, how vital it is to create pathway opportunities like this for Peel students, for their futures, but it goes beyond that. Recently, I received a heartwarming email from a parent whose daughter will be one of the students enrolled in the speaker series. With her approval, I'd like to share excerpts from her message. Quote, I'm writing to express my deepest gratitude for the upcoming Future of Healthcare event this October. As a parent, I cannot fully convey how much this event means to our family, particularly to my daughter. Since she was 7 years old, she has dreamed of becoming a nurse. This aspiration has been a guiding light in her life, offering her a sense of purpose and direction through various challenges. It was a wonderful surprise when one of our teachers informed us about this program. The chance to meet and interact with real healthcare professionals is something I've long hoped for her, and it feels like a dream come true. As a single mother, life has not always been easy. We have faced numerous hurdles. These experiences have tested our resilience, but seeing her passion for nursing has been a source of great strength for both of us. I only hope she's more educated, empowered, and successful than me. And I take her dreams with me to work daily. This program and the opportunity it provides has rekindled a spark of hope in her eyes that has been incredibly inspiring for me as a mother. End of the excerpt. So when people ask us what is our why, this is our why. Our service to students and families to be able through education to fulfill their hopes and aspirations. And on that note, I want to end by saying that we are inspired and motivated by the positive outcomes to date, and I look forward to sharing more about the ways we are making an impact, creating opportunities for all students, and addressing the goals of the strategic plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Saru. I'm going to ask Trustee Davey and Trustee B. McDonald to put this on the floor for me. Do we have any question of the Director? I'm not seeing any. All those in favor of her report? Carries. Thank you. Next on the item on the agenda is item 8, which is trustee appointed to external organization. I have no report this time. Move down to 9, which is approval for minutes from previous board meetings. And the first one is 9.1, which is our previous board meeting of September 25th. The minutes are here. I'm going to ask Trustee Bailey, Trustee Hobbs to put them on the floor for me. Question, concerns? See none. All those in favor? Thank you. And committee minutes for receipt. And the first one I'm going to have is the Special Advisory Council meeting of September 19. Trustee Benjamin, Trustee Hobbs. Question, concern? See none. All those in favor? Carries. Parents Involvement Committee meeting of September 19. Again, Trustee Benjamin, Trustee Promoli. Question, concern? All those in favor? Minutes of audit meeting of September 26. Trustee Davey, Trustee Cameron. Question, concern? All those in favor? Thank you. And our physical building and financial building committee meeting of October the 8th. Trustee Cameron, Trustee Davies. Sorry. Question, concern? See none. All those in favor? Okay. Curriculum meeting of October the 9th. Trustee Benjamin, Trustee K. McDonald. Question, concern? See none. All those in favor? Carries. Thank you. So we're going to move right down to item 11, which is our staff report. And the first one is 11.1, our multi-year strategic plan report point 2.1, safety and well-being. And I'm going to turn it over to Director Sarul to introduce Dr. Logan and Superintendent Stubbins.
Thank you, and through you, Chair Green, I will now ask Associate Director Camille Logan to present the Multi-Year Strategic Plan Progress Report 2.1.
Thank you, Director Swaroop, and through you, Chair Green. The purpose of this report is to provide an update on the deep work of the PDSB that has been engaged to reduce and eliminate the disproportionalities in suspension and expulsions since the ministry review, specifically for students who are historically marginalized, and more specifically, those who identify as African, Black, and Afro-Caribbean. The report is organized to align with the strategic actions of the 4-year multi-year strategic plan goals and to provide a detailed update on several fundamental changes to student discipline and a series of highlights that speak to the outcomes of specific groups of students. I will now call upon Michelle Stubbing, Superintendent Safety and Wellbeing, to provide an overview of the report.
Thank you, Associate Director Logan, and through you, Chair Green, I would like to share a multi-year strategic plan update for the Safety and Wellbeing Department. The Peel District School Board continues to prioritize the need to reduce and eliminate racial disproportionalities for students who identify as African, Black, and Afro-Caribbean, Indigenous, and Middle Eastern. The successful elimination of racial disproportionalities requires the commitment and collaboration of all central departments, field superintendents, school leaders, and all school staff. We are proud that PDSB suspension data is one of the lowest in the province and has significantly decreased since pre-COVID data. This can be attributed to the elimination of arbitrary suspensions and a strong framework principals are required to use when considering a suspension. The Safety and Wellbeing Department now has 6 full-time support teachers and 20 half-time support teachers in schools across the board. Their mandate is to work with educators, school teams, principals and vice principals to build the capacity of school and classroom staff to cultivate relationships and build a strong sense of community. The other 5 central departments are also actively engaged in work that supports the reduction in racial disproportionalities. The Peel District School Board's publicly stated commitments toward anti-racism, anti-oppression, and decolonizing practices will create optimal conditions for learning in all schools and classrooms. But this can only be actualized through the use of intentional strategies designed to identify and eliminate the biases, barriers, and power dynamics that limit equitable access of identifiable student groups. Some of these strategies include the future implementation of our Upstander program for grades 3 to 5 and 6 to 8, the expansion of the peer mediation program, stronger partnerships with Peel Public Health and anti-vaping programs in partnership with Peel Public Health and the Lung Association, and collaboration with various community agencies. As a senior team, we engage in regular suspension data analysis, which includes a review of racial disproportionalities, and we work to spread successful practices across schools. This learning has also been brought to all principals and family of schools meetings so that shifts in pedagogy and approaches to behavior are actioned. This work is regularly monitored via data analysis, conversations, and walkthroughs to monitor learning cultures and learning environments in schools. Most recently, we have provided updated professional learning for the required bullying prevention intervention plan, which has expanded to include climate and suspension data. We know that strong classroom communities that affirm identities, that ensure students are represented in curriculum and resources, where we explicitly teach pro-social skills, where we ensure students' well-being and mental health are looked after, all contribute to positive behaviors, where students are positively engaged in all aspects of school life. Thank you. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Superintendent Stubbins. I'm going to ask Trustee Clark and Trustee Johal to put this on the floor for me, please. And questions for Superintendent Stubbins? Trustee McDonald.
Thank you. Through the chair. So I'm happy to hear that the arbitrary suspensions have been significantly reduced, so that we won't be hearing like kids being suspended for like hoop earrings and stuff like that. But I was just wondering if you had any data on in-school suspensions, and are those still occurring, and are they tracked?
Thank you for the question, Trustee McDonald, and through you, Chair Green. We do not do in-school suspensions. The Ed Act allows us, to issue a suspension under sections 310 or 306, but certainly not an in-school suspension. There are other means that we can address misbehavior that doesn't require a suspension through progressive discipline and incremental supports.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just have one question tonight, through you, Chair. So I'm just looking at some of the data, and I'm grateful and happy to know that for pre-COVID data, we're trending downward, but I noticed there's a slight increase year over year. We're about 8% higher, 7-point-something% higher year over year in suspensions than we are last year. Just wondering if staff could tell us a little bit more about that data and what we plan to do to bring that number back down.
Thank you for the question, Trustee Elves, and through you, Chair Green. I think it's important to note that our data does fluctuate a little bit month to month. And because we have so few suspensions, really, compared to the other boards in the province, a couple suspensions could skew us a little bit. But superintendents in the field are reviewing all suspensions, all recommendations for suspensions. Principals are using the principal analysis of incident report to ensure procedural fairness and that the decision to issue a suspension is a just one.
Thank you very much. I don't have any more questions, Chair.
Thank you. See no. Oh, Trustee Promoli.
There we go. Through you, Chair. Thank you so much, Superintendent Stubbings. I just wanted to thank you for including the numbers of students here in the chart also, because I think it does give more context into what we're looking at when we're talking about numbers instead of just the percentages. So I think it helps us better understand what we're talking about and looking at when it comes to these numbers that we have been talking about for quite some time now. So I appreciate that additional information because I do think it added a little bit more, as I said, the context to it. So thank you for that.
Trustee Benjamin.
Thank you, and through you, Chair, just to add to what Trustee Promoli was saying, in the chart it says 52% of 47 students were South Asian. Is that a matter of something concern for us? That the numbers.
Thank you for the question, Trustee Benjamin, and through you, Chair Green. I'll try and answer the question for you. So, I think it's fair to say that every suspension is a concern for us. We want students who are engaged in their academics and contributing positively to schools, and the decision to issue a suspension is sometimes a difficult one. But to clarify, the 52% represents the number of students who identify as South Asian in the board. And then for the month of September, that would be 47 students. So again, we are concerned with our South Asian students. We're concerned with students who identify as Black, as Middle Eastern. So all suspensions are, our considerations, and we work to really eliminate all where possible.
Thank you.
Not seeing any more questions, so all those in favor of the report? Carries. Thank you. All right, we're going to go down to 11.2, multi-year strategic plan 2.2. Special ed. And again, Director Suru to introduce Dr. Logan and Superintendent Scardo.
Thank you, Chair Green, and through you, I would now ask Associate Director Camille Logan to present the Multi-Year Strategic Plan Progress Report 2.2.
Thank you, Director Swaroop, and through you, Chair Green. The purpose of this report is to provide an update on the significant work of the Special Education Department and their actions to advance the goals of the multi-year strategic plan. The report highlights a learning series recently held that was designed to support educational assistants, educators, and administrators. The report is organized to align with the strategic actions and the four-year multi-year strategic plan goals, and to provide a detailed update as to the alignment of actions and impact. I will now call upon Claudine Scaccato, Superintendent Special Education, to provide an overview of the report.
Thank you, Associate Director Logan, and through you, Chair Green. I'd like to share that to start off this school year, the Special Education Department has taken significant strides in enhancing professional learning opportunities for educational assistants, as well as hosting a special education conference for special education educators and administrators across every Peel school. As shared in the report, this supports the multi-year strategic plan, Goal 1, student achievement, and Goal 2, safety and well-being. The August professional learning session marks the first time we've offered a dedicated full day of training specifically for educational assistants, aimed at equipping them with the essential skills and knowledge to ensure safety, provide personal care, and implement best practices for exceptional students. We honor and acknowledge the vital role that educational assistants play in our schools in support of exceptional learners. This learning was supported in partnership with OPSU Local 2100. I'll begin with a high-level overview of the key features of the educational assistance professional learning. As shared, this tailored learning was almost 2,500 educational assistants in attendance, focused on critical areas such as safety protocols and strategies for supporting students with co-regulation, communication, and applied behavior analysis. Participants reported that the training was comprehensive and valuable. Feedback included comments such as, "This training was timely, inspirational, and practical, and I feel more confident in my role supporting students with disabilities." Even our Director of Education, who shared the welcome on behalf of the board, has heard from staff thanking the board for this tremendous and focused learning opportunity. I would now like to share special education conference highlights. Educators and administrators from every Peel school attended our special education conference, reinforcing our commitment to upholding ministry expectations for special education and our deep commitment to the equity of access, experience, and outcome for students with exceptionalities. Learning sessions included administrators in special education, leadership, mentorship, and collaboration in special education, roles and responsibilities and services of the special programs team, supporting students with complex needs through trauma-informed approaches, putting the I in IEPs, and SIA claims a hand-on introduction to SIA. I want to thank the trustees who came in support of the conference, which emphasized the importance of best practices, featuring workshops and discussions designed to foster collaboration and innovation in supporting students. Again, the feedback was extremely positive. One administrator shared that the learning was critical, thought-provoking, engaging, and informative, while another shared that, "Now I know what shifts I need to make to better support exceptional students in my building." While we are incredibly proud of the learning that took place, we now must shift our focus to accountability and monitoring to ensure that that learning translates effectively into classroom practices. We will implement a robust framework for accountability and monitoring, and this will include regular follow-up sessions based on feedback to assess the application of skills learned, ongoing support and resources for educational assistants, educators, and administrators, establishing clearer metrics with the support of field superintendents and principals to evaluate the impact of professional learning on student outcomes, which includes a pilot of a newly created resources that we created in partnership with LTSS that aims to monitor programs for exceptional learners in 6 of our schools. As we move forward, our goal is to maintain a high level of education for all students, ensuring that our training initiatives not only enhance the skills of our staff, but also positively impact students' access, experience, and outcomes. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for that great report. Trustee Bailey and Trustee K. McDonald, put it on the floor for me. Question or concern? Everybody's happy. All those in favor? Carries. Thank you. We will move down to 11.3, which is a strategic plan action and order report. Director Sarul to introduce the presenter.
Thank you, and through you, Chair Green, I will now ask Associate Director Paul De Silva to present the multi-year strategic plan in action.
Thank you, Director Swaroop, and through you, Chair Green. The multi-year strategic plan, developed in collaboration with the Board of Trustees and staff, serves as our guiding framework for advancing the Peel District School Board. Its core goals, student achievement, safety and well-being, equity and inclusion, and community engagement are infused in the fabric of our schools, ensuring that every student benefits from an exceptional educational experience. While we recognize the incredible efforts already taking place across many of our schools, we want to take a few moments at each board meeting to highlight initiatives directly aligned with our MYSP from one of our 13 field superintendents monthly. These snapshots offer a glimpse of the impactful work being done by our dedicated educators and outstanding students as we continue to make strides towards our shared vision. I'll now pass it over to Superintendent Leslie Grant to report on her schools in Area 4.
Thank you, AD De Silva, and through you, Chair Green. In keeping with our system's commitment to success and well-being and achievement of African, Black, and African Caribbean students, I am very pleased to spotlight a collaborative cross-panel initiative involving Mississauga Secondary School, David Leader Middle School, and Meadowvale Village Public School Black Student Associations through the BSA Reading Buddies program. This initiative aligns closely with the goals of the Black Student Success Strategy, specifically Area 5, which aims to inspire and support Black student success. It also strongly supports the Peel District School Board's multi-year strategic plan, particularly goals 2 and 3, which emphasize promoting safety and well-being and advancing equity and inclusion. The BSA Reading Buddies program exemplifies the principles of community engagement, leadership development, and educational equity. High school and middle school students are empowered to give back to their community by building positive relationships and fostering a love of reading among younger Black identifying students in elementary school. Through the program, Mississauga Secondary School's BSA developed an initiative that allows them to support the younger Black students in improving their reading skills, boosting their confidence, and affirming their identities and self-worth. In this cross-panel effort, Mississauga Secondary School students train David Leader Middle School students to become reading mentors or book buddies. These students then work together at Meadowvale Village Public School, reading identity-affirming books by Black authors with students in grades 1 to 3. This model not only enhances literacy, but also reinforces the values of inclusivity and representation, which are cornerstones of both the Black Student Success Strategy and the multi-year strategic plan. Students involved are enthusiastic about the program. For the younger participants, the opportunity to engage in one-on-one with older peers helps foster a love of reading and develop literacy skills and build confidence. For the older students, the program offers invaluable experience in leadership, mentorship, and community building, skills that align with the Peel District School Board's focus on developing the leaders of tomorrow. The positive impact of this program is profound. Elementary students benefit from fluent reading examples set by their older peers, personalized support, and the opportunity to see themselves reflected in the literature they explore. At the same time, high school and middle school participants gain leadership experience, mentorship experience, and a deep connection to their community. The creativity, initiative, and commitment demonstrated by these students is commendable and deserves recognition. Their efforts not only support the academic success of their peers, but also strengthens the sense of belonging and identity within the schools. I'm happy to take any questions at this time.
Thank you, Superintendent Grant, for that report. Great to see good work is taking place and leadership has been built. Trustee Benjamin and Trustee Promoli, put this on the floor for me. Question or concern? Trustee Promoli.
No questions or concerns. I just wanted to say thank you so much, Superintendent Grant. I really loved hearing this update. This is incredible work building community and leadership among all of these 3 incredible schools. So thank you for everything here and thank you for sharing it with everyone tonight. So really glad to hear
Chair,
about
my
it.
pleasure. Trustee Promoli.
Any other? Trustee K. McDonald.
Thank you. Through you, Chair. Ditto. Thanks.
Through you, Chair, my pleasure. Trustee McDonald.
Any other? Seen any? Just on behalf of the board, please pass on our best wishes to the team that is doing some amazing work and also to the principal that allowed this to take place within the court. Thank you very much.
Thank you, I will.
Okay, all those in favor? Carries. Thank you. Okay, 11.4. It's personal mobile device cell phone uses in school policy implementation. And Director Saru to introduce the presenter.
Thank you, and through you, Chair Green. I will now ask Associate Director Camille Logan to present the report on personal mobile device cell phone use in school policy implementation.
Thank you, Director Swaroop, and through you, Chair Green. The purpose of the personal mobile device cell phone use in schools policy implementation report is to provide an update on the current status of the implementation and impact in schools since the start of the current school year, which reflects the last 6 weeks. The report provides an overview of the steps to implementation strategies that are used in schools and the data on the impact, as aligned with the 4 goals of the multi-year strategic plan, outlining the actions and impact. I will now call upon Michelle Stubbings, Superintendent, Safety and Wellbeing, to provide an overview of the report.
Thank you, Associate Director Logan, and through you, Chair Green, I would like to share an update of the September personal mobile device cell phone use in schools policy implementation. As communicated in June 2024, the Ontario Ministry of Education released an update to PPM 128, the Provincial Code of Conduct, which focused on addressing personal cell phone use in schools and vaping. As outlined in the PPM, prevalent use of cell phones continues to challenge and negatively impact students' ability to focus and learn, particularly during instructional time. Adopting a phone-free school K-8 is an impactful measure to enhance student educational outcomes, behavior, and well-being. Since the implementation of this policy in September, elementary students are not to bring their cell phones to school. Secondary students may use their personal cell phone during instructional time with the explicit permission of the teacher. As you can see from the graphs, schools clearly communicated the personal cell phone ban or restrictions during September's Code of Conduct assemblies. During these presentations, there was a heavy emphasis on helping students understand and set healthy boundaries. Communication to the community was also sent in multiple formats beginning in late August. Letters were sent centrally and by schools through a variety of means, including newsletters and class websites. There has been overwhelming support for this new policy. Parental concerns have been addressed by school principals in a supportive and meaningful manner. The elimination and restriction of personal cell phone use in elementary schools shows a significant improvement in students' focus and attention. The Peel District School Board is proud to protect students' learning time in class. The resources and lessons that have been provided to all schools K-12 have helped students understand the impact of excessive phone use on their mental health and their social emotional well-being. Thank you. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Superintendent Stubbins. Trustee Cameron and Trustee B. McDonald, put them on the floor for me. Okay, questions? Trustee B. McDonald.
Yeah, thank you, through you, Chair. Thank you for this report. I read through it and seen, first of all, this could not happen without the staff, and I saw 95% of the staff making that happen, and that is great news because this all started back in March, April when we started a motion here, and then the government jumped on board, and seeing the results that you presented today is really great news that this is just a start. It's going to get better. So this data, just curious how you collected this data. Was it a survey for each student that was sent out, or through schools or parents?
Thank you for the question, Trustee McDonald, and through you, Chair. It was a survey. We sent it out in the all families message, principals, so any stakeholder could reply to it.
Great. Thank you so much. Great to hear that. Thanks, Chair.
Okay. Trustee Clark.
Thank you, through you, Chair. My only question is, I noticed that there's a similarity in, okay, now it's gone. The parents that expressed concern, there was a large amount for K to 8, but also a large amount for secondary school, parents with secondary school students. Do we have the differences between the concerns of the parents for the K to 8 versus the parents with a child in, secondary schools?
Thank you for the question, Trustee Clark, and through you, Chair. I don't have that specific information. I think the concerns that some secondary expressed were also similar to elementary.
Trustee K. McDonald.
Thank you, through you, Chair. Superintendent Stubbins, on the graph, that's the heading is, how have you provided information about the cell phone ban / restrictions directly to the school community? There is a bullet, I think it was green on the screen, because this is printed in black and white. I think it's the green column that says information was not provided directly by the school to the school community. I just find it a little confusing in terms of, I see here you have school newsletter. Yeah. Sorry, it's red. Sorry, my apologies. So it's the red one. But then you have like, oh, it's orange. It may be orange. Okay, sorry. It's maybe orange. It's about this community one, the second to last square in the legend. But I see school newsletters went out, and we have on the school website. So when you say it's not provided directly, what was that question trying to capture?
Thank you, Trustee McDonald, and through you, Chair. So information not provided directly by the school to the school community. I mean, maybe, I don't know, perhaps the school missed it, but we sent out a lot of information centrally. So it could also be an interpretation of what that question was asking. Oh. So we sent letters to schools for schools to send out. Some schools also sent their own letters. So okay. I'm not 100% on that answer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just want a little confused, because to me it sounds like you did go to the community, right? Okay, thank you.
But information went out to the entire community centrally anyway. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Trustee Alves.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a couple questions. So I'll start by just noting how proud I am to support this policy. I think it's a wonderful policy. I think, as Trustee McDonald noted, Trustee B. McDonald noted earlier, we were proud to have begun this work before the government jumped on board, and thankfully they did. In this report, which is incredibly well put together, there's a section that reads, to what extent do teachers in your school support the new cell phone ban / restrictions? And then you see red to a great extent, purple somewhat, and so on. And you can see in the first half, all of what appears to be most of all of teachers are in great support. But in the next section, perhaps I've misinterpreted it, but to what extent have teachers noticed or reported an increase in student focus and attention and so on? So many of these charts have a yellow bar that is almost at the top, which would note that they're not sure how much of an increase they're seeing. Can you explain a little bit more about what this might mean, please?
All right, thank you. I'm sorry.
Research.
Thank you for that question, Trustee Els. I believe we have Lynn Hollingshead online who conducted the survey, so she may be able to answer that. And
through you, Chair. Good evening, everyone. You're looking at the question about the yellow bars are a large not sure. So this is a school survey, and so the principals or whoever responded on behalf of the school would not be certain how teachers were what they were observing, and so we gave the option for the not sure. And so you'll see in K-6 schools where cell phones weren't really prevalent prior to the ban, that there was less positive responses because it was less relevant to them. They weren't. It wasn't an issue. And then for the same in the 9 to 12, that you see again about a 40% response that said that they weren't sure, and it would be just contextual to how much they would be aware of changes for students. It's very early, right? It's just been a month.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think that clarification helps a lot, because I think without that explanation, it was a bit confusing to understand that teachers weren't actually reporting back on the data. I'd almost wonder if that would be an interesting data point for future, but perhaps food for thought. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm seeing no other requests to speak. So all those in favor of the report? Thank you. And once again, thank you to everyone, especially our researcher who will put this all together. It's early days yet, and we'll wait to see what happens. Thank you. So we're going to move at this time down to 12, which is communication. There is none. Trustee motion for consideration. There is none. Trustee notice of motion. We have none. I'm going to move Trustee Davies and Trustee Cameron to move the adoption of the closed session. There's no closed session, so I forgot that we didn't have a closed session today, so I'll remove that. And we are just going to move down to Peel success stories. But just before I do that, I just wanted to just let Trustee know, and I should have done this under the chair announcement, is that sometime within the next few days, we will be submitting hopefully our second to last report to the ministry. And then we will wait for feedback, and then we will have the final one in January of 2025. Let's keep our fingers crossed and keep praying that after that, the eyes are off. And I want to take the time to just thank Director Saru and her team that has been working tirelessly and work alongside to make sure that this report is get done, and we will make sure that it's submit on time. It is a lot of work, but at the same time, we're also waiting for some feedback from the last report that we submitted. So we're open to schedule a meeting, the director and I, to have another conversation with ministry to make sure that they're satisfied with the report. So thank you. All right, so with that said, I'm just going to move to our success stories.
Peel District School Board's multi-year strategic plan for 2024 to 2028 identifies the most important priorities for the board, as well as the actions necessary to accomplish these goals. These goals are all interconnected, and when we collaborate on achieving them, we will be more successful in fulfilling our purpose, which is to promote student success through inclusion, innovation, and empowerment. Meet the Forest Guardians, Chatak Kaur, Rubanya Anand, Melanie Rose Ramcharan, and Chitra Sekri. Under the coaching of their teacher, Priya Parekh, the team qualified for the World Robot Olympiad earlier this year as 8th grade French immersion and extended French students at Darcel Avenue Senior Public School. Having traveled more than 6,000 kilometers to Italy to compete against teams from 42 different countries, the all-girls group made history by becoming the first Canadian team to win in their division at the World Robot Olympiad. Their project, the BlazeBot, tackles the plague of wildfires through preventative action, stopping the spread of fires using multiple coded sensors that alerts a main control and fire stations. Since their return, they've been all over the news nationwide, with features in the Toronto Star, City News, Breakfast Television, Omni, CBC Radio, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Their achievements even led to a personal congratulations by MP Equinder Gahir, who also invited the team and their families to join him at the House of Commons, sitting later this month in Ottawa, where their accomplishments will be announced. Students in grades 6 through 12 from Sir William Gage Middle School and Central Peel Secondary School recently participated in the annual Central Peel Strings Extravaganza. String players of various playing levels had the opportunity to engage in workshops with guest artists, including the innovative multi-style cello duo, VC2. The day concluded with an impressive performance of the song Viva la Vida, played by more than 320 student string players and accompanied by VC2. Staff and students across Peel Board proudly carried on Terry Fox's legacy of courage and determination as they participated in the Terry Fox Run Walk and Roll, raising awareness and funds for cancer research. 44 years after he set out on his cross-Canada run, his story continues to inspire generations of kids, reminding them that anything is possible if you try.
Terry Fox! Terry Fox!
On October 22nd, Peel District School Board launched the Emerging Racialized Leaders Network, designed to support Black, Indigenous, and other racialized teachers and administrators who are committed to advancing their leadership within schools and the board. The network is a supportive community where people can share their experiences, learn from one another, and collectively challenge systemic inequities, with the ultimate goal of empowering one another to drive meaningful change and ensure that every student knows that they are valued and supported. Last month, students, staff, and trustees were joined by local politicians and community partners at Elwood Memorial Public School to celebrate the 2-year anniversary of the Caledon School Vegetable Garden Project. Planted and cared for by students, parents, and community members took on the vital role of caretakers throughout the summer break, ensuring the gardens continued to thrive and nourish the community. In fact, more than 260 pounds of vegetables have been donated to Caledon Community Services Exchange Hub since the garden project began. The vegetable gardens are not only a great hands-on learning opportunity for students, as it ties into the Ontario curriculum, but it also is an important reminder of the true value of connection and community.
WOW, which stands for World of Welcome, is more than just an event. It's a beacon of support and guidance for students who are navigating through these new waters. Through activities like games, performances, and mentorship, the program creates a space where newcomers can connect, learn, and most importantly, feel that they belong. The sense of belonging is crucial. It helps newcomers build the confidence to take on new challenges and create lasting friendships that make the transition easier. It's about more than just integrating into the school system. It's about becoming a part of the community, the WOW family, and contributing to the vibrancy of our diverse Canadian society. The impact is clear. Students who participate in the WOW program are not just more prepared for school, but they're also more connected to their peers, which is vital for their mental well-being and success.
Trustee Clark, put this on the floor. Let's move receipt. All those in favor? Carries. Thank you. Now, Trustee Cameron and Trustee Davis, adjournment. All those in favor? Carries. Thank you. Have a good night, and thank you to everyone for being here.